It is Wednesday, February the 10th, and this is what we covered for today. So for review, ask the class this question. American Eagle reports every month to the state commerce office. So just an office, it's total sales of goods and services. So American Eagle is submitting whatever they've sold over the course of a month. So their sales would be helpful in measuring what? So one of the things that we covered yesterday that helps us to measure our economy. So this will be consumer spending. So as consumers are spending money, American Eagle knows what their total sales are. This next question, the government can borrow money from the private sector, which will be us, in order to pay the cost of regulations, roads, schools, etc. So this would be bonds. So we can buy a bond for a local government like Rocky Mount, state, or federal. That means that the government would borrow money from us and then pay us back a set amount with interest in a certain time period. So new stuff, actually a little bit of review, and then we're going to get into new stuff. So with productivity, a lot of you guys are still struggling with this. So remember, productivity is output divided by input. So we're going to look at this example at the bottom. So output divided by input, and we're looking at this one right here. 2 employees work 20 hours each and produce 2,000 items. What is their total productivity level? So they produced 2,000 items, so that's your output. And then our input would be how many total hours they worked. There's 2 employees, and each employee works 20 hours. So 20 plus 20 is 40. 2,000 divided by 40, their productivity level is 50. And another could be maybe total sales divided by the number of hours worked. So whatever your output is, customer serve, products produced, total sales, and then divide it by hours worked. All right, we're going to get into government spending today. So just so you guys can see that our money, there's a cycle. There's a cycle to our money. So we work for businesses. So we're right here working. We make an income from working for business. We give businesses labor. And then we pay taxes. The government provides us services with those taxes. Businesses, they pay the government taxes. They provide businesses with services. So just the flow of money. All righty, so this is where we need to start. So we're going to get into what the government does with their money. So the government makes money mainly on taxes. They do issue bonds, but the majority of governmental money comes from our taxes. So when the government makes more money off of our taxes than they're spending, that's called a surplus. But when they're spending more than they're bringing in from taxes, that's a deficit. So deficit, think of debt. Deficit, not good. Surplus, we're adding. So yeah, surplus is good. You got money left over with a surplus. Deficit, you're in the hole. And these are just a couple things that where our government spends money. This right here is off of 301 right there by Sam's Club and Panera Bread, Starbucks. So that's all that road construction that they just finished with. The one on the right, that's our school. So we can see our tennis courts. There's a the teacher parking lot. Here's the student parking lot. Here's the football field, soccer field, the building. So just 2 main things that our government pays for with our tax money. This is just a breakdown of surpluses and deficits. You can see the majority of the time our government is in a deficit. So most of the time our government is spending more than they're making. And then I've labeled each president and their length of presidency so you could kind of see what was going on. So Clinton came into office in 93, and then he was in office through 2000. So right here. So Clinton came in, we were in a deficit, and then while he was in office, we started climbing out of that, and we actually had a surplus while he was in office towards the end of his office. And then Bush came in, and we started spending more money. So here's Bush, here to here. See, we were spending, the government was spending more money than it was making when Bush was in office. Obama came in 2019. Obama, the government was spending less and less. Trump came in office 2017. And while he was in office, you know, we were in a deficit, but it pretty much remained the same as far as us spending what we were taking in year to year. And just a refresher, just remember that the main role of the U.S. government is to protect citizens. This is just a look so you guys can see what the government is spending our money on. You guys can see the biggest section of this budget goes to healthcare. And then Social Security. So older folks, 65 and older, children that have lost a parent that needs some financial assistance. Social Security helps with that. If you are disabled, you can get a Social Security check. National defense, that would be military, income security, retirement, disability, food, low income. And then you guys can see the list as it goes down. And then balancing the budget is the same thing as a surplus. So when you balance your budget, you got money to save. You got money left over. And these are our, last two vocabulary terms. So think about it this way. If your boss tells you to do something and it is mandatory, that means you need to do it or you're going to be in trouble. So you have to do it. Whereas if your mom gives you 20 bucks to spend and she tells you that it's up to your discretion, whatever you want to spend your money on, then it's your choice. It's up to you. So the same thing with mandatory governmental spending and discretionary governmental spending. Mandatory is required by law. This does not change with each new president that we have in. So by law, we have to pay Social Security, Medicare, assistance for low-income families, disability for disabled folks, and veterans. Now, each year, whoever our president is, he will create, or she will create their budget, and then Congress will create their budget. They come together, they meet, they fuss, they fight, they try to come to a consensus, and then they try to agree on where they want the discretionary funds to be spent. So mandatory, required by law, discretionary, we have a choice on what we're going to spend money on. That would be our military, crazy, air traffic control, nuclear energy, national parks, the federal justice system. And this is just an example. This first one, 2016 discretionary budget, 2 years, 2018 discretionary budget. We can see, let's do military. 2016 military budget was $634 billion. 2018, $679 billion. So you can see that our military budget went up by over $40 billion. And then let's look at education. Education 2016 was roughly $79 billion. Education 2018, $61 billion. So less money was put in education in 2018. And that's what we did today. Make sure you go into Canvas and do your Objective 101 test today before midnight and do your exit ticket. I'll see you guys soon.